Welcome back to the Learn to Love You show. I am your host, Renita Hills, and as always, is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to be here with you this evening. The last time we talked a little bit about relationships after the abuse. That was a challenge. And we talked about loving on yourself and taking care of yourself and not letting people push you into a relationship that you're not ready for yet. Giving yourself time to heal, time to recognize that you have wounds, time to heal from those wounds, and time to move on. Recognizing triggers that might have taken place from the past that are still affecting you now. So you can deal with those triggers. So when somebody else comes into your life, you don't allow those triggers to take over. They may still be there. They still may still ring true or ring in your head when it happens, but it doesn't take over. It doesn't make you feel like you're going through the same thing again. So we talked about triggers as well. Today we're going to move a little bit further. We're going to talk about getting support and getting help needed. We're going to talk about trusting somebody else, not necessarily relationship wise, but talking about counseling. Okay, I said it. That dreaded word, counseling. Nobody wants to talk about counseling. Nobody wants to admit they need support. Nobody wants to admit they need to talk to somebody. Nobody wants to admit they need a therapist, but you need it. If for nothing else but to talk it through and get it out of your head and into the air so you can clear out some of the space that's being jammed up with all the negativity of your past. I always equate it to this to having a 2 liter of Pepsi. You get that 2 liter of Pepsi and then shake it up, and you know how just you can see the foam coming up at the top. If you were to open that top right when you shook it up, it would spew all over everywhere. It would just make a huge mess over everything and everybody that's in any near the vicinity of when you opened up the top. But if you just did a little bit and just said, "Psst," a little bit, "Psst," and a little bit, "Psst," just releasing the pressure little bits at a time, it doesn't make as much of a mess. And if you do it right, it won't make a mess at all. At some point, the fizz and the foam will settle down and it'll be calm where you can just go ahead and open at the very end, just go ahead and open up and enjoy the Pepsi that's in the bottle. The same thing takes place when you're going to a therapist or if you're going to a counselor. It's allowing you the opportunity to sit back and say what's on your head and say what's in your heart. Say what's troubling you. Sometimes finding out things that are troubling you that you didn't even know was troubling you. Yes, you'll go into that closet of your mind and look in the back and realize, wait a minute, I didn't realize that was a problem for me. Or I didn't realize that still bothered me. I didn't know that ever bothered me at all. And then you learn to deal with it right where it is. And that takes the pressure off. It takes the fume and the foam of this yanking that Pepsi top off. It lets it come off little bits in a controlled environment. Going to a therapist is very helpful. Going to see a counselor is extremely helpful and supportive in your journey to going back into the relationship world. Now, we talked about relationships as far as man woman or woman woman or intimate partnerships. There are other relationships that are often damaged when you're dealing with a person who's going through abuse. Sometimes when you're in a abusive relationship, that person will take you away from your family and your friends and alienate you, separate you to where you think you're all by yourself. When you separate from that abusive relationship, you're going to have to rebuild those relationships as well. I found myself having to call my mom more often to kind of build that love back. And not that she didn't love me and I didn't love her, but build that loving bond back. Calling my sister more often so we can build that loving bond back. My brothers were the most difficult because I felt that they were angry. I felt that they thought I should have come to them when I started having a problem. When it first started, I should have started talking to them so they could have helped alleviate and bring me away from that bad situation. So it was hard for me because my brothers have always been my protectors. They've always been the ones to guide and comfort and take care of me. And big brothers are big brothers. Sometimes they were the ones that would be the ones that pushed me down to bruise my knee growing up, but they wouldn't let nobody else do it. They were the ones that took care of me growing up. I was the youngest. My older siblings took care of me. And when this scenario came up, they felt like I didn't allow them, believe it or not, the privilege of taking care of me. Yes, it is a privilege for someone to look out for you when you cannot out for yourself. People think of it as an honor, especially family. And when you've been separated from them, it's a gap, it's a void. Something is missing. And you're going to have to learn how to gradually build that back up. Sometimes it's no problem. You jump back in, you're in it to win it, and you're back like nothing ever happened. But other times it takes time, it takes effort, it takes actual work to build that relationship back up with your family. It takes work to build the relationship back up with the friends that you might have separated from. So take time to build those relationships. You're not by yourself. Even when you've separated from them, your true friends and always your family are there for you to help support you to get back to the place where you can stand on your own 2 feet and move on to your next relationship. Take it slow. This, this is not this is not what you call it, a fast race. This is not a sprint. This is not the 100-yard dash. This is the 2-mile run. This might even be the 5-mile run. It might even be the 20-mile run. This is a marathon. Take your time and honor yourself while you're taking your time. Honor what you're feeling. Love what you're feeling. Deal with what you're feeling and allow yourself to go through those emotions and through those changes so you can build a better you as you go. Don't put yourself under any pressure. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. It doesn't have to happen no time soon. Take your time. Sometimes family and friends can try and get you to get started faster than you're ready to go. They're sitting at the starting line. They got the gun up and they ready to fire off. And when they fire off, they expect you to take off running and hey, jump back into that next relationship. I want you, and moms, oh my gosh, moms can sometimes be the worst ones. I want my baby to be happy, whether it be a boy, girl, male, or female. I want my baby to be in a happy relationship. I need them to be pleased. I need them to be satisfied. I can't be happy until they're happy. Don't let people rush you and push you into something you're not ready for. It's okay to tell them no. Wow, what that word is? That powerful 2-letter word that does not need an explanation. It does not need support. It does not need anybody there to tell what to do with it. No means just what it is. It's a full sentence in its own. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not ready for that. No, it's not time for that for me. Tell them no, and it's okay. Exercise that voice. Get your voice back. And if your family loves you, as I know they do, when you exercise your voice, get your voice back and tell them, no, I'm not ready, they'll respect the no. They may not like it. They may not want to hear it. They may even want to push you past it, but tell them no. And if you feel like you want to explain to them, tell them, look, I gotta say no to this right now. I'm not ready. And you're constantly pushing me to it. It's kind of making me feel like I'm still in a pushed and non-honored relationship. I really need you to honor my no. And I'm not really saying no. I'm really saying not now. I'm not ready. When I'm ready, I will. And when I'm ready, you'll be the first one I call. I'll call you before I call anybody else and say, I'm ready to try. Honor your no. and help other people to honor it as well. Look inside yourself. You have such great, wonderful, phenomenal things that are set in your path, that's already put into play. What you've gone through, believe me, it was not a surprise to God. He knew it before you were formed in your mother's womb. He knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew when it was going to happen. He knew how it was going to happen. He knew how you were going to react to what was going to happen. And he made plans and preparations for every single thing that happened to you. How do I know that? No, I don't have no crystal ball. My crystal ball ain't working. My crystal ball is called the Bible. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the thoughts that I think towards you, thoughts of good and not evil, thoughts of hope to give you and bring you to an expected end. My favorite part of that scripture is, he gonna bring me to an expected end. Expected end. That means that before he even started, before I even met this person, before my dreams or my fantasies or anything is ever, my very thoughts even took place, he knew where I was going to end, and he made preparations for everything that took place until I get there. Our job is to walk it out and trust God. The steps of a good man and woman, a good person, are ordered by God. And everything that you've gone through, everything that you're going through, everything that you're about to go through, he already knows about it and has made preparations for you to succeed. Trust God. Walk it out. Trust what you're feeling. Believe in yourself. You are fearfully, and I'm going to say this until we all believe it. Not just you, but I believe. There are areas in my life that I don't truly and fully believe it yet either. I'm working on me. I'm a work in progress. So until I fully and completely understand that I am fearfully and wonderfully made by the hands of God, I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going a little off script here, but I'm going to go with it. Fearfully, wonderfully made by the hands of God. Think about that. Fearfully. When I see that word fearfully in that scripture, I see God sitting on the throne. And he's sitting there thinking, I have to create Renita, but it's got to be right. I'm animated. I go a little off to the left. My imagination is great. Work with me. He's sitting there thinking it's got to be right. She's got to be strong, but still soft. She's got to be tough, but still flexible. Okay, I got that. I'll put that in there. Oh, I need her to be tall, but she ain't gonna like being able to say and having to say she's 6 foot tall. So I got jokes. I'm gonna make her 5'11 3/4. So she ain't gotta say she's 6 foot tall. See, God got jokes. Y'all don't believe it? Watch what I say. I got jokes, so he got them, and I'm made just like him. So he said she don't want to be called. She's not gonna want to be called 6 foot. So I'm gonna make her 5'11 3/4. She's gonna be a public speaker. She don't even know it. She's gonna grow up shy. She's gonna grow up quiet. She's gonna grow up really reserved. But with all the things that I know she's gonna have to go through, she's gonna end up being a public speaker. She thinks she's gonna think she's gonna be a lawyer. She thinks she wanna carry that briefcase and walk around and defending people. That's just something she's going to think. But I know at the end of it, she's going to be a public speaker, and she's going to speak out for people who don't know or cannot or will not or not strong enough to speak for themselves. Oh boy. And that event right there, her mic's going to go out. So I better give her a voice that projects. So yes, I have a built-in microphone. I don't need a mic when I go public speaking because God has blessed me with the ability to speak loud enough, clear enough without straining myself. God knew that was going to happen with me. He also knew that at some point in time, I was going to need my degree. But getting it too early would not work out right, because if I got my degree, as soon as I got out of high school, the people that I met in college, the people that I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to in college, that led me towards going into working for the speaking towards speaking before the General Assembly. My tongue trying to twist, but it's okay. We got it. Those people that helped me to speak before the General Assembly, I met them during my college years. But if I had gotten my degree back then, I might not have been able to meet those people. And those people led me to meet other people that allowed me the opportunity to go and speak locally with the mayor. Somebody there heard me speak and wanted me to go represent the state of Indiana before President Barack Obama. See, none of this stuff was Renita's doing. All of these things came from the orchestration of God before I was even formed in my mother's womb. The expected end, the expected end that He has for me. I am now learning how to walk in my own purpose, God's plan to fulfill His destiny for me. I say all that because that same principle applies to you. He knows just what you had to go through and what you're going to have to go through to reach that final purpose, that destiny, that purpose that He had when He sat down on the throne and said, I have to create this person. I know what I have to put in her. I know what I have to put in him, because I know what he has to go through. You are fearfully and wonderfully made by the hands of God with purpose. There is a plan. Don't give up on God. Don't give up on what He has for you. He has not given up on you. You are made by His hands. You are fearfully and wonderfully made beneath your skin. Aha, you thought I was going to go back. I didn't forget. Beneath your skin, behind your eyes, is an absolutely wonderfully, phenomenally beautiful you. Learn to love you. God bless you. Stay strong. Until next time. Good night.